All right. Today, welcome back. I'm going to talk about the absolute number one killer of success. Whether it's money, your body, whatever it may be, the number one thing that will guarantee you that you will not succeed in any endeavor that you ever attempt is this guy. All right? It is self doubt. There is nobody in the history of the planet who was like, you know what? I don't think I'm going to actually ever be able to get a six pack. So maybe I should, just stop trying. And then all of a sudden they got a six pack, right? Same with your money, right? Like if you do not believe that you are capable of making more money, you will never make more money, right? So the self doubt is the opposite of confidence, right? And you might be like, okay, it's easy for you to say, Matt. You're this stylish guy. You got money. You're confident. All this stuff, but that's not how I always was, right? Everything that I have, the money, the house, the looks, the body, whatever it may be, is all built on self doubt, right? So I promise you, everything that we all have as humans is overcoming this fear in our brain that is stopping us from doing something that we believe that we are not capable of doing, right? And I'm 100% guilty of it, right? Like, if you know my story, I got fired from my 9 to 5 safe and secure job, and I had nothing but doubt, right? There was no confidence in who I was, right? The confidence that I have now was completely built on the things that I'm going to teach you in this video. So stick with me, and I'm going to teach you the most important pieces that I learned about how to build some confidence in yourself and how to overcome self-doubt and get everything that you truly do desire. All right, so stick with me and I'll teach you exactly what I was able to learn along the way. So like I said, if you know my story, I was fired from this not a great job to begin with, but I was miserable at that job. But then I got thrown into door-to-door sales and knocking on doors, selling insurance that I knew nothing about to people that were over the age of 65. It was very intimidating, right? I had a lot of doubt, and most days I would knock on doors all day and literally get just completely shut down. Nobody would want to talk to me. Nobody wanted to hear what I had to say, and I wanted to quit so many times. I mean, I've failed so many times in my life. It's been insane, but confidence comes from failing and then getting little wins, right? But what happened was the one day I remember I just was knocking all day and everybody was just being mean to me and making me feel bad and all this stuff. And I remember coming back to the office, and my mentor, who was my father at the time, I was like, I don't think I can do this. I think this is too much. I don't think I can actually succeed and become successful. I don't think I can keep knocking on doors. I'm failing. And he asked, and he looked at me. He goes, "Did you think it was going to be easy?" And I was like, I was kind of caught off guard, and I was like, I guess not. And he goes, well, this is kind of what it feels like, right? To do something that most people won't do. And I think you are doing this, Matt, because you want a life that's different than everybody else's, because you see how most of these people that we meet with and how they live, and unfortunately most of them live not so great of lives. And if you want to live a life that is good in your eyes, right, or you feel confident in yourself, you have to do things that are a little bit uncomfortable. And the fear of, this doubt that you have in your mind is just a trick. And he goes, has anybody attempted to hurt you? Has anybody attempted to take your car or take your money or anything like that? I was like, no. I was like, what do you mean? He goes, well, then what are you afraid of? And it completely reframed my brain was blown. I was like, yeah, what am I afraid of? And, I kept going out. I still wasn't over it, right? But I got a little bit better about going out. I started making some sales. I built up a little confidence, and then I started to believe in myself a little bit more. And the reason why I tell you that story is because the first thing that you have to do is reset the expectations that you have about what success is, right? Like, if everybody did everything that they were supposed to do, then everybody would be successful, and unfortunately, that's not really the case, right? Success is something that is achieved and it is admired because most people won't do it, right? Like, if everybody had the same thing, there would be no reason to achieve that thing, right? Like, there would be no reason to strive for something. Like, the human experience is about overcoming things. So when you reframe it to, this is just the way it is. If I want something, I am okay with paying the cost, right? I am willing to do the things to get better at the task, right? So just reframe it, set the current expectations of, I am deserving of this thing, to, I am the person who wants to overcome, and I want to build and overcome this self-doubt, right? And build confidence in whatever I'm doing. And this will carry over into your body, your relationships, your money, everything starts with the belief that you can actually do it. Right? And like I said, the first thing is resetting the expectations. And then the second thing is starting small, right? You don't have to like go out and knock on 1,000 doors and completely reset yourself. That's good. You can 100% do that. It will, it depends on where you're at in your life. Like, if you've never made a sales call before, well, you probably will quit if you do like 100 a day for the first week, right? You want to start and maybe get a win and start to build on top of that win. And same with, like, if you haven't been to the gym in 10 years, right? And you're like, oh, I need to get a 6-pack in 6 months. Okay, well, let's maybe first just go to the gym and walk a mile, right? Like, let's start small. Reward yourself for doing something small, and then you increase as you go. Your confidence isn't just going to completely change overnight if it took you X amount of years to get where you're at today, right? So be comfortable with knowing that it's okay to start small and then completely compound that, right? Some people, one of the quotes is like, they overestimate what they can do in a year and underestimate what can get done in 10 years, right? If you have a long enough time horizon, all the little steps and improvements in your life will make your life completely better. So reset your expectations, and then on top of that, if you can start small and just start implementing and compounding on top of each other, the confidence will build. And lastly, like I said, my father was a great mentor to me. If you know my story, he was not a great father for the first half of my life. He was an alcoholic, kind of a hectic and chaotic life. But then when I was graduating high school, he sobered up and became a really great mentor in the AA community, a mentor to me, a mentor to many people. And I luckily had a great mentor to push me along and show me things that I didn't know. And if there's something that you are in a position that you feel uncomfortable about, pay somebody, right? Like, I've paid so many people in my life. If you don't have that mentor like my father around, then you have to pay somebody. I paid literally, I probably over $500,000 in coaching and things like that, and masterminds and all these different programs, because I wanted to build confidence in an area that somebody had already beaten that level, right? So if there's a level of life, right, that you're trying to get towards, well, understand where you're at and then pay somebody or follow somebody that has what you want, right? And just basically model what they tell you to do. And then on top of it, because they already know what the results are, you will gain confidence knowing that, hey, there's, if he did it or they did it or whatever it may be, then I can do it too, right? So being able to have the internet like this right now, like, I didn't have access to multimillionaires, that had all the things that I wanted at the snap of a finger, like YouTube is, right? It's an amazing, amazing tool. So obviously, all this has to do on the fact of action, right? Like, anything that we talk about, whether it's mentorship, expectations, and starting small, you have to actually implement, right? So many people I meet with, they just talk, right? They philosophize. They talk about what could be, but they never actually do what they say they know, right? They know something, but to truly understand something, you have to experience it. And you'll talk to somebody and you can really, after you've experienced life, you can tell when somebody's kind of shit kicking you or not, because I'm like, okay, well, you're telling me things that you read from a book, but reality is a little bit different, right? When somebody shoves a door in your face, how are you going to react, right? You can tell me all the things you read in a book about psychology, but how does it actually play into real life? You can philosophize after the fact, right? So that's just a little bit of a rant, but once you start doing these things and you start stacking them on top of each other, it will compound, right? And the belief that you literally can do anything and have anything is the most powerful thing you'll ever have in your entire life. And if at a point in your life you get to basically wake up in the morning and say, you know what, I want to move to this new state or this new country, or go on this trip, or make X amount of dollars, or do this new thing. Like, I want to go boxing and I want to become a boxer. You think I just picked up boxing like 6 months ago, but I have the confidence and the belief in myself that I'm going to keep doing it, and I'm going to keep learning, and I'm going to keep improving. Because this is the game we are in. The game you are in is find a problem, usually in your own life, right? And then solve that problem, and then let other people know about how to solve that problem. That is literally how life works. And that is where fulfillment comes. But if you never have the confidence and the actual belief that you will ever break any or solve any problems, then life will just be miserable, and you'll just be continuously on this path of like nothingness, right? Everything in your life has to be a problem that you see, and then a solution-based mind that is going to figure out how to solve that thing. And then in that process of doing that over and over and over again, you then gain skills and you gain capabilities, and then you gain the belief in yourself, and then you can contribute back to society. That's why I'm here today. I'm here to help make you a better man, to be part of society, to improve yourself, to improve the world. To everybody here, I hope nothing but the best. And if you have any questions about any of this stuff, shoot me a message, leave a comment below, like, subscribe. This is what it is. I will talk to you guys soon. Peace.